Hey guys, Wade Paquin with the Build Show. Have you ever heard the term shop drawings? Most builders and remodelers are familiar with that term. Most homeowners are not. I get asked this question all the time. So in this episode, I want to talk about why shop drawings are important in achieving all the details in beautiful custom cabinetry like this modern kitchen we completed here over my shoulder. On this episode, let's talk about what shop drawings are and how the process works. So in order to understand what a shop drawing is, let's go backwards a little bit to the beginning of the project. The project's a new custom home, and the architect has met with the homeowner and they have some ideas of what the homeowner wants, and they start sketching that out. You may have heard the term napkin sketch. It's basically what a schematic design is. It's early sketches, early conceptual design ideas for the project. That evolves and morphs into what's called a DD set, a design development set. That's when those ideas on the napkin end up on paper through programs like AutoCAD, Revit, SketchUp, etc. Architect works very closely with the client. They work on floor plans, elevations, layouts, and when the homeowner signs off on that, that becomes your CD set, your construction drawing set. That CD set is what's given to me, the builder, to execute the project. So I'll take that CD set, architectural drawings, structural drawings, cross sections, you name it, all that information to allow me to build the project in conjunction with a project manual that might have all the specifications from plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, tile, flooring, you name it. So that's a lot of information for me to build the house. However, what's not in there are shop drawings in relation to millwork and custom cabinetry. So I often have clients say, do I need another set of drawings, right? I've paid for SD, DD, and CD. Do I really need shop drawings? The answer is always yes, especially on the higher end level of custom cabinetry, built-ins, and vanities, and so forth. Think of shop drawings as the map that allows all the pieces to come together. There are so many components to custom cabinetry that we want to make sure they're going to fit together nicely. We want to make sure that they're not going to conflict with a plumbing pipe that's underneath the vanity, let's say, that the drawer isn't going to be a full depth drawer and hit that waste pipe or the plumbing trap. That you can open a drawer that's not going to hit the refrigerator handle when you open the drawer, so the drawer doesn't open all the way. These are just a couple small examples of things that can get flushed out by looking at shop drawings. So I'm going to walk you through that process with just one section of custom cabinetry that we did on a project recently, where we have the elevation from the architect, and then we have the first draft of shop drawings from the cabinet maker, and then the revision, and then the final approved, so you can see the evolution of that. So I know Steve Basic loves to use his big red, but here at WKP we prefer little red. So let's jump into this. So here is a dining room area that has a full wall of cabinetry underneath these windows. This is the architect's elevation view. As you can see, there's not much information here. We see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections, if you will, if you're looking at this vertically, 8 sections of cabinetry. They're simply labeled dining room storage, bar storage. We know we've got an integrated refrigerator here, a sink and trash unit, and then bar storage and pantry storage. There are no dimensions here, there's no information, there's no sections. So we'll give this to the cabinet maker. They'll come out, they'll field measure this site. So they will measure from this wall to this wall, and they'll be able to capture this dimension, however many feet and inches that is, and take that and go back and put that in their system, and they'll start to draw these out. They'll measure the windows, they have an idea of how many sections of cabinetry we want, and they'll generate their elevation view of that. And you can see that here. So Here are our windows. Here's the sections of cabinetry. We've got 1, 2, 3, the refrigerator, the trash and sink, and the other 3 sections. So there's your 8 sections. Now look what's happened here on this version. We have dimensions. These are all equal dimensions. 43.5 inches. So these are all symmetrical, and we know what our refrigerator spec is, so we fit that in, and we know what our sink and faucet spec is, and we know what we need here. So they've been able to provide the dimensions for that. They've also noted that because these are not painted cabinets, these are stained grade cabinets, that these arrows indicate the grain pattern. So the grain wants to run vertical here. We see that this dashed line is indicating that these are all individual pull-out drawers. They have a faucet spec'd here, and they have the refrigerator unit specified here. So it's important for us to review this first draft shop drawing from the cabinet maker to make sure that this model number and this model number meet and match the specification for the project. So we will verify that in the field. You can also see that they provide cross sections of the cabinetry, so you can see the drawer depth, you can see the drawer heights, you can see the overall height from countertop to floor. You see that there's a toe kick here. You see that it's got a white oak top, right? All these things that were noted in the architectural drawing that are now coming to life from the shop drawing. You see the Gelco sink here, and we need to confirm what that sink is. There's a Revishelf waste container in here. That's that trash unit. That's that sink and drawer trash unit that's in here. So we want to make sure that that's going to work with the piping here, the P-trap of the sink. Again, here's the faucet spec. So these are things we need to verify to make sure that everything here on paper is going to work with the specifications, so we don't run into any snags in the field. So this is the drawing we received from the cabinet maker, and then we'll go in and we'll mark that up. So in this case, this was the wrong faucet. So we scratched that out and we wrote in the correct faucet and model number. We noted that there's an interior drawer unit here, so we dashed that in to show the cabinet maker that that needs to be included. We wanted to verify that the bottom of this refrigerator unit confirm kick space venting requirements for that refrigerator. They're not shown here, so we're making a note to the cabinet maker to provide that information. We know that we had a supply register, an HVAC register here. We wanted to show the detail of what those slats will look like. So up here we provided that. Here's the base of the cabinet. Here's the floor. We wanted to come up and then have individual slats where the air could flow through these slats that were all equal spaced at 1.25 inches with spacing, solid wood spacing in between. So we can see that on the next version of the shop drawing. The faucet here, as I noted earlier, was the wrong spec. They didn't show that properly, so we clouded that in and showed them what this should look like when they pull up the right spec. On the sink was not as deep as they had shown it, so we noted that that sink is only 6 inches deep and verified the width, so we X'd out that deep sink. Again, we've crossed out the incorrect faucet specification. So now we take all this information and we send it back over to the cabinet maker to provide an updated version of that. Now on this version, you will see they've now integrated that supply grill at the bottom of the cabinet, and they've provided the detail for that here with the dimensions that we've called out. So now we know that this is exactly what we want, and it's going to be built here underneath that cabinet base. Now you see the venting for that refrigerator show up here in the drawings. So now we know that in the toe kick, they've allowed for the venting grill piece that comes with that refrigerator. They've updated the faucet to show the two individual components, and they've updated the spec and model number for that. So you can see these are all evolving. The sink, they took our 6-inch dimension and they updated it. There's our 6 inches. Before, that sink came down to here. That has been corrected. The faucet has been updated here to match our specifications. So these changes are happening. And this is how that process works. So we can work directly with the cabinet maker and go back and forth through revisions. So if this is, dining room cabinet 2.0 is a drawing sheet, revision 1 might be 2.1, 2.2 would be the second revision. So we'll go back and forth with the cabinet shop. They'll kick us the revised drawings. We'll look at it as a builder. The architect, if there's a designer on the project, they'll look at it. We compare notes. We redline, that's what we use a little red for. We redline those notes, and then we send them back for updates, and then the cabinet maker will send those revisions back. Once they're correct, then we can stamp those drawings as approved, and then they can go into production. Now we know we're not going to have any issues out in the field. So when those cabinets go through the manufacturing process and come out to the site to be delivered, we have tremendous confidence that those cabinets will be able to be installed without any conflict, without any you-know-what moments that could slow down or delay the project, or potentially even cost the homeowner or the builder more money because proper steps weren't taken to ensure this sort of efficiency and planning ahead. So I just wanted to do this episode and explain the shop drawing process. I do get asked the question a lot as to what they are and why they're helpful. So I hope this video explained those questions that I get. And if you guys aren't checking out my colleagues' videos here on the Build Show Network, please do. Brent, Jake, Steve, and Matt, incredible content. So proud to be part of this team here on the Build Show Network. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you do, WKP_construction, and we'll see you soon right here on the Build Show.